Hey, hey, Get Healthy UTV squad. We've got Chris not in studio today, and I am here in studio. I am Sam Cam, and we have the lovely Chris Freytag zooming in. Chris, where are you?
Hello, I'm in sunny Arizona. Can you hear me okay?
We can hear you.
Gotta love technology. So good to join everybody. And yes, Sam, did we miss last month for our live Q&A? I
We
can't
we did
remember.
miss last month. Yep. So the last one we did was I think it was actually the end of January because we did two in January and we missed February and March.
We did two in January. You're correct. So it's great to be here with everybody. Sam and I try to come live, try to, as the keywords there, once a month to answer questions from our community. It can be all of you Get Healthy UTV members, but it can be anybody else too. We love to talk about all things health and fitness and wellness and midlife and all that good stuff. And it just seems like an hour always goes by so quickly, doesn't it?
It definitely does.
Sam, I just want to quickly mention before we get into all these questions, and we were going to talk a little bit about cortisol and some of the things happening in menopause. But I want to mention that we are in the middle of our Slow and Strong challenge right now, which is, we're really excited about this challenge. We started on April 1st. That doesn't mean you can't join because it's a 28-day calendar. So if you were to sign up today, you could just start on day one, even though we're on day 17. But it is a calendar that is geared towards lifting heavier and slower. So a request from a lot of people that they would like us to slow down, and also a request to use heavier weights because when we hit menopause, it is really, it's just, I don't want to be Debbie Downer because I'm positive, but it's a little harder to build muscle. It's you got to ingest a little extra protein so that it actually gets uptaken by the muscles. You got to go a little heavier to build that strength. So, that's something that at least I personally have been focusing on is going a little slower and stronger. So anyway, the challenge has been fun. Sam, do we have a link to join it? I can't see a banner on the screen, so I don't know if we put, there it
Yep,
is.
there's a
Okay.
banner. Yep, and then it'll
All
be
right.
in any of the chats. So depending on where you're looking at, you can check the chat box, and there'll be a link for that. So
Yeah, so you're not too late. You're not too late. That's the message because all of our calendars live on our website and our app. So you can start now just because we started as a group, quote unquote, on April 1st. You could start anytime, but it's been a very favorite calendar of people, don't you think?
it has. It's been a very successful challenge, and it's for members and non-members, right? So we have
Great.
unlocked all those videos, and they'll stay unlocked a little bit longer than that month, just in case if you had, you were on vacation for a little bit or whatever. So join us now, and you can still you can start, your day one might start today. So
And one last comment.
yeah.
We do have a bundle of free high protein recipes. So high protein is obviously, I mean, it just seems to be everywhere on the internet, but in midlife in particular, your body just doesn't use protein as easily. It doesn't hold on to the muscle as easily. So we really want to focus on our protein intake as we get older. And from our friend Micah, Joy to the Food, we have a whole packet of like breakfast, lunch, dinner, snack recipes that are all involving high protein without protein powder. So,
Yes.
a lot of times recipe makers will just throw protein powder in something to make it higher protein, but these are all high protein without protein powder. So you also get that for free.
Yes, awesome. Okay, Chris, so the topic today is cortisol in menopause. So how you lowered your cortisol levels and improved your sleep during menopause. Is there anything that you want to quickly kind of start off with in regards to that topic? We do have a couple questions. And then there's a bunch of other questions that have been sent in not on that topic as well. So
Okay, yeah, I would just make a couple quick questions. So cortisol is where like blood sugar is regulated, metabolism, or it's not where, it is part of blood sugar regulation, metabolism, belly fat, all that stuff. And cortisol is related to stress. It's known as a stress hormone. And a lot of people said, well, how do you know your cortisol is high? Well, there's a couple ways you can know. First of all, if you're stressed out of your mind, your cortisol is probably high. If you're not sleeping well, your cortisol level might be high. I do a blood panel through Function Health. It is a program that Dr. Hyman runs online. And he does a blood panel where he takes your blood you join as a member, and once a year you get 130 biomarkers. And one of the biomarkers is cortisol. So my cortisol in 2023 was lower. And then in 2024, it was up kind of just at the level where it was about to be above range. And I was like, that's so weird. So that's how I measured my cortisol. Now, it's not like something you measure at home. And now when I say I've lowered my cortisol, it's because I have taken steps to help feel better and less stressed. I haven't remeasured it. I will remeasure every year. I do this once a year. I take my blood markers, but stress is just, you think midlife you're going to have less stress, but I talk to all my friends and there's just a lot more stress because the situations are bigger. I don't know, life is bigger. Like you have bigger work situations, bigger family situations, bigger, happiness, bigger sadness with things happening with parents and friends and death and there's just so much going on in midlife. And then with your estrogen and your progesterone declining, even if you are taking hormone replacement, it's still that natural, the original estrogen, the OG estrogen and progesterone are down, and your cortisol levels can really climb. So it made me start to pay more attention to like, okay, what's the connection to my body? What are the things I can do? Morning is a time when cortisol spikes for most women. So it was like tweak my morning routine, make sure I'm not stressed, get up, do some things that are good for myself, like deep breathing. I do my AG1. I try to be not so crazy. I do my stretching before I have my coffee, doing things like really paying attention to my sleep. We'll get into that if anyone has questions, because this little ring on my finger has also super much helped me. Listen to my grammar today. Super much. What's that? But helped me with, I think, lowering cortisol and I'm having better sleep is what I've noticed. So I think that that's helping. And of course, moving your body and lifting weights. That is the surefire way to reduce stress and cortisol, because when you lift weights, by the way, it's not just about muscle. We talk about it. It's neurological too. It helps the brain. So anyway, those are the few comments I wanted to make about it. I'm sure maybe there's some questions, Sam.
Yeah. So one of them that just came in, I have heard working out in a fasted state increases cortisol levels. And she's also heard that if she doesn't eat right away in the morning after waking, that your cortisol levels will stay high throughout the morning. So what are your thoughts on the first one? If you're working out in a fasted state, does that actually increase your cortisol levels?
So there are some studies that just came out. I'm sure most people are listening to Dr. Stacy Sims. So she's kind of been all over the internet on every health podcast. I really trust her. She is a really smart doctor, and she also, is she a physiologist? She's not a medical doctor. I have to look it up. I think she's like has her PhD. Maybe she does have her MD too. So, but she's very, very smart. She looks at all the science, and the science on fasted training was always with men, or has traditionally been with men. And her favorite tagline is "Women are not small men." So if all these studies are being done on men about their muscles and their stress levels, and it's like, well, wait a minute, we have a whole different hormone makeup. So she cites a lot of studies. They're on her website, Dr. Stacy Sims. They were in the podcast most recently with Mel Robbins. She was on the Mel Robbins podcast. I listened to her entire podcast with Dr. Andrew Huberman. It's like 2.5 hours long. But I just slowly listened to it. Super interesting. But she said the same thing on both podcasts. So this is her research, that women don't do as well in a fasted state as men do for training. She said a woman's body craves a little nutrition in the morning and the need to get the fuel going, especially before, your strength workout. And this has impacted me for the last few months because, I typically get up at 4:30 in the morning. I have my coffee. And I have always naturally grabbed half a banana. And people always say, why a half a banana, not a whole banana? Because I don't want a whole banana. I just want a half. Just a little fuel of some sort I've just done that intuitively. It makes me feel a little better, but I kind of consider myself to be in a fasted state because it's not like I guess I did put some carbohydrate into my system, so it technically isn't, but I'm not eating a lot before. But that being said, what Dr. Stacy Sims has been saying is that you really need a little protein before your strength sessions, and you need a little carb if you're going to be doing like some high cardio where you're really burning through glucose. So I've taken that to heart. But now she clarifies that when she says women should eat a little something before working out, she says in her own way, she does what I do. She's getting up at like 4:30 in the morning and she's working out. And all she does is put a scoop of her favorite vanilla protein powder in her coffee. She blends it up and drinks it. So it's not like she's ingesting this piece of chicken or something. She's just having. So for a lot of us, and I just recently started this, I've been doing just a scoop of protein powder in the morning to see if it makes a difference. Because what I would notice is that towards the end of my workouts at early morning, sometimes I do feel a little like, ugh, I'm drained. My heart rate's not going up as high as I would expect it to with the effort I'm putting forward. And I really started thinking, is that because I just need a little protein, some amino acids in my system for my muscles? So that is what she's talking about. When she says we don't really need to, women don't do as well in a fasted state, she is not suggesting a meal. She's suggesting a little bit of protein prior to working out. Now, after the workout, that's where you really, this has been science that's been tested on men and women, and it's been around for a long time. I've been talking about this for 20 years, that you have a window of opportunity to fuel your muscles after a workout and replenish your glucose levels so that you feel good for the next day. So there's always been a recommendation of having some protein and a little bit of carbohydrate after a workout. And the window of opportunity has always been stated in science that optimally it would be within 45 minutes. So if you work out, like, so again, Sam and I both work out really early. I'm done working out, 7 in the morning, then I'm going to get my nutrition at that point. I'm going to have my AG1 greens and get my vitamins. I'm going to have a protein shake, or I'm going to have some sort of a breakfast, and I'm going to get that fuel into me. They say the limit goes up to 2 hours. Sometimes if you don't have access to food within 45 minutes, make sure you do it within 2 hours. So one of the things she talks about in this podcast is women who say, well, I'm going to stay in a fasted state till noon. So, a lot of people love that feeling like I can do it. It's, self-control maybe. But if you work out in the morning and you don't eat till noon, you have done yourself a massive disservice for being able to repair your muscles, grow your muscles, and replenish your glucose stores so that tomorrow's workout is just as good as today's, type of a thing. And it doesn't end up, again, she stated a lot of science that you can find on her website too, but you don't end up losing more weight because you did it that way. It's actually a detriment to your training if you're trying to build more muscle mass. And my goal for me is body composition. I want stronger bones, more muscle, less body fat, because I'm thinking old lady body. That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking, how do I train to stay strong and not become frail? So did I answer those questions? I know it took a long time to answer, but it's a big discussion, right, Sam?
Yeah, it's actually funny that you talked about that podcast, because I just got sent that from one of our gym friends who's similar in age to me. She's like, you have to listen to this podcast. So I listened to the same podcast the other day, and we've been kind of, chatting about that same thing. Like, did you know that you were supposed to eat before you work out? And so she's definitely trying it. I'm going to try it in a couple weeks. I've tried before. I'm not when we're waking up at 4:30, I'm like, I just run out the door. I put my clothes on and I run out the door. But it definitely kind of sparked some interest for me. Same thing, but I really liked how she said it doesn't have to be like a piece of chicken, like you said. Like, you pour some protein into your coffee on your way to the gym, like that's enough, and then you just really refuel after. So if anyone hasn't listened to this podcast, even someone like me had thoroughly enjoyed it. So.
And Sam, I'm going to go on to mention, thank you for saying that Dr. Stacy Sims also said 15 grams of protein is adequate. You don't need 30, 40, 50 at that time in the morning. She's like, it's like, I've always described it as topping it off. Like, that's why I've had a half a banana. It's just that little bit of glucose before I'm going to get that heart rate up and give my blood a little glucose. So, because you do burn glucose and fat as you are working out, and you don't want to burn muscle. And if you have no glucose in your system, it can't burn fat. Glucose is the pilot light for fat. You will burn muscle. So a lot of people are like, I am working out so hard and I can't build any muscle, because you could be doing yourself a disservice. So again, what happens is the internet takes it. I've seen posts where Dr. Stacy Sims says you have to eat before you work out. And now people are thinking, oh my God, I got to sit down and have bacon and eggs. No, you don't. She said a little bit, like a scoop of protein powder or half a scoop of protein powder, that would do the trick to get some amino acids in your system.
Yep. I love it. There's a lot of questions coming in. Let's see. So, Chris, you talked about how your cortisol levels are a little bit too high. We did have someone say that her cortisol levels are too low. Have you heard of this, and what can you do to potentially increase those cortisol levels?
Holy bananas, I want to know you. Like, what's your lifestyle? Are you the most zen person I know? I've never heard anyone say their cortisol levels are super low. So I honestly, not being a doctor, I can't answer that question. I don't know, what the problem would be with that. But I mean, obviously things that help regulate cortisol, regulate blood sugar, which are, because they're very related, are exercise and good, healthy eating, and then good sleep. Good sleep, I have just come to know in my old age that sleep is, I used to kind of wear, less sleep as a badge of honor. Like, I don't need a lot of sleep. I'm a go girl. I don't sleep. I just go. And now I've realized, oh my God, that is not good for your health. And as I'm getting older, I am valuing sleep in such a different way. But if your cortisol level is so low, honestly, I would talk to your doctor, because I don't know about that.
Yeah, I mean, I would say like adding in, if you don't strength train or go for a walk, like adding things that do add a little bit of stress, right, to your body. Like, again, yeah, we all want to know you, because I think my cortisol levels are through the roof, and so I mean, just adding things that can add stress to the body would probably be helpful. But again, like Chris said, ask your doctor. Somebody is asking, instead of eating, she drinks a pre-workout. Would that be the same thing?
Sure. Yeah. If you're getting some branched chain amino acids, BCAAs, again, Dr. Stacy Sims did not say anything about it being food that you have to chew. It could be something that you drink. So drinking some, BCAAs, drinking anything protein related could give you a little bit, because I think for a lot of us, it's the chew thing. Like, I don't want to chew food at 5 a.m. and digest it and everything. I just, that's where I think people get hung up. If you're working out super early. Now, let's say you're going to work out at 9:30 in the morning. You have plenty of time, I would think, to ingest something with protein. It doesn't have to be something big, but again, just get a little protein in your system if you're going to go lift, and even a little carbohydrate wouldn't hurt you.
Can you explain one more time, like how you can test your cortisol levels? Is it a blood test? What kind of tests are out there for that?
It's a blood test that I took. And here's the thing. I mean, most doctors, like, they don't test every blood marker. So you go to your doctor and they're like, okay, we're going to take your blood and we'll give you your vitamin D level, and we'll give you your, cholesterol level, and they'll give you a couple of things. But I joined this Function Health with Dr. Hyman, and we do have a referral code if anyone's interested, but I'm certainly not selling it. I'm just telling you, that's what I did. It's a program that he started 2 years ago. And basically what he said is, most people don't have access to all these biomarkers. And a lot of these biomarkers are super important, and it's so expensive in your insurance. So it's like $500 for the membership. So it's $500 once a year, and you get 130 blood markers every year. And basically what they do is they go in and say, okay, you live in this city, you're going to go here to get your blood drawn. And I just I made an appointment, got my blood drawn, and then I get a whole dashboard that shows up on my computer that says, here's your blood stuff, here's what's in level, here's what's out of level, here's what you should do. And it gives you things to go talk to your own doctor if you have any questions. But you can also contact the Function Health people to ask questions too. But so that was the first time ever that I've actually had my cortisol checked. And like I said, in 2023, it was just kind of like, it was good. And then 2024 it kind of went up, and I was like, that's interesting. So it made me kind of want to pay more attention.
For sure. Now that you say that, Chris, people are asking for the link. So you'll have to send that to me, and we'll get it up after this is over.
As soon as we're off this, I will give it to you. And it all depends on your healthcare and your doctor and what you believe. I mean, honestly, I gifted it also to my kids, because my sons don't have the greatest healthcare program at work. And I mean, they're paying thousands of dollars for their healthcare. And I'm like, this is a way for you to get your biomarkers and know where your body is at. I think we all have the right to know. So yes, we'll pass that along.
Absolutely. The glucose goddess says that having sugar, even in fruit, is a bad idea first thing in the morning. How does that kind of jive with what you stated about the function of glucose in building muscle and burning fat?
Here's the problem. We just all have too much science. I love the glucose goddess, by the way. I think she is just brilliant. I follow all her stuff. She is very spot on. She's very smart. She's a scientist that, studies blood sugar basically. But here's the deal. So if you're going to go exercise, you can use that glucose. You use glucose as fuel when you're exercising. If you're just going to sit at your desk and you're going to eat a ton of fruit and just sit there, it could raise your blood sugar levels. It also depends on if you have blood sugar problems. But so yes, I get that. But if you're going to go exercise, eating a half a banana or eating a handful of grapes, it's not going to hurt you. It's natural sugar. It'll give you a little glucose store, because when you are exercising at a higher heart rate, like when you're walking, your heart rate, like I love to walk. We're big believers in walking, but your heart rate isn't super high. It's just really good, low intensity cardio. You get your steps in, your joints are healthy, blah, blah, blah. But if you're going to exercise and you're going to be sweating and you're going to be breathing through your mouth and your heart rate is up, you are using glucose as fuel. You have fat and glucose. So those are your two jet fuels. And when your heart rate is a little lower, you use more fat. So when you're walking, you're probably burning more fat, but you're burning it at a slow pace too, because you're not burning that many calories per se per minute. When you start to get your heart rate up higher, your body starts to use more glucose. Don't worry about it. It's good to use glucose. Who cares? And you're burning calories at a higher rate and you're conditioning your heart. So it's really good. But if you have no glucose, if you run out of glucose, your body can't burn fat. It's the pilot light. These two are dual jet engines. Then you start burning muscle. And that's a problem. So that's why a little glucose in the morning, if you are going to exercise, is not a bad thing. And fruit to me is a great choice. But I do see what, this Jessie, that's her name, the glucose goddess. She has a lot of really interesting information. I think you guys should follow her. I read her book. I wore the glucose monitor for a month. I think it's super, super interesting. But I will also say that I do follow a guy. His name is Jesse. I'm telling all you, another Jesse. His name is Jesse. Why am I forgetting his name all of a sudden? Oh, Jesse Itzler. Jesse Itzler. He is married to Sarah Blakely, who is the founder of Spanx. Ladies, you know what Spanx is. So the two of them are married. They're crazy entrepreneurs that met each other and got married. But so Jesse, his philosophy is he only eats fruit till noon. That is his whole life. He's a massive exerciser. He's a massive runner. So it kind of makes sense because he's probably burning through so much glucose. But anyway, so you have to listen to all this advice and then you have to try it out on yourself and see how you feel. I started noticing that eating a little bit of fruit was helping me. I don't want to bite into a protein bar or something like that. Like that would not make me feel good, or like a big whatever. I just want a little piece of fruit and I can feel that glucose in my system. So.
Awesome. What are the blood tests or other questions that you should be asking your doctor that they don't normally test you for? We have some people kind of interested. Obviously, I don't think your doctor kind of gives you the cortisol levels. Is there anything else that you would suggest people to ask their doctor to be tested that they don't always get tested for?
I think it's absolutely crazy that most people don't know their blood type. I did not know my blood type. If someone said, what blood type are you? Do you know what blood type you are, Sam?
I don't. And I asked my mom, I'm like, do you know? And she's like, no, I don't. So I'm actually doing same thing, through my functional doctor, same thing. She's going to test my husband and I for 200 blood markers. And hopefully I'm going to find out that information because I have no idea. And both my sister and my sister-in-law actually found out when they were pregnant due to their blood type and the baby's blood type. Apparently there's some things that go on and they both had the same kind of, I guess, condition or whatever. And so I'm like, well, I should probably know that information. So
yeah. So blood type. And my daughter one time asked me, hey mom, look up my blood type. I looked through all of her records, from the pediatrician. I could not find her blood type.
Yeah.
I was like, what? So anyway, your blood type, that's one thing just of interest. But then this test that I did gets really into your hemoglobin, like measuring all these like small particle things. It measures your electrolytes, environmental toxins, female health, estradiol, your FSH, your luteinizing hormone, DHEA, sex hormone, testosterone, all that stuff. Measured food allergies. If you want, you can kind of pick and choose some things you don't have to do. But heart, like your ApoB, they say the ApoB is very important for your heart. And then your particle sizes for your LDL and your HDL, because truthfully, my cholesterol is high. My cholesterol is let me look at this. I think it's 236 or something. And they say that doesn't matter. Like this whole thing about your cholesterol is supposed to be under 200. Again, I'm not a doctor, so none of you guys be taking any of my advice as doctorly advice. But like they say, that whole 200 thing was created by the drug companies to say you need a statin. We want to keep you under 200. We want you to take our drug. Whereas if your cholesterol is a little high, your total cholesterol, that's one thing. But what's really matters is your HDL and your LDL particle size and your ApoB and like your triglycerides and those things. So all of that should be measured. Heavy metals was measured in this test that I took. I was really interested to find out heavy metals. I don't know if your doctor would do that. Metabolic markers, like I'm trying to look at glucose level is really important. And by the way, my glucose is always high. I've always been somebody who has a high resting, or I guess when I go to take my glucose at the doctor, it's always high. Now, by the time you get to the doctor, you have gotten out of your bed, your cortisol levels go up a little bit because I think I'm a super high intensity person. So I think my cortisol goes up in the morning, which is pretty typical for middle-aged women too. And then my glucose number is always high when I get it tested. So when I wore this glucose monitor, I would check my glucose before I'd get out of bed to see where it was before I got out of bed, because by the time I get it tested at the doctor, it's like 100. Well, when I was laying in bed, it was like 70 to 80. So I was like, ooh, I just found out something interesting about myself. Your insulin, what's even more important than your glucose level is your insulin. So is your body able to, your insulin resistance, your hemoglobin, and then the other thing I was kind of there's more to it. There's even more than this, but the other thing I thought that was interesting, liver, to get your liver tested, and check out, and then, the metabolic stuff I just mentioned. And then, of course, what typically your doctor will measure, which is good, is your nutrients, your calcium, your iron, your iodine, your magnesium, your selenium, your vitamin D, your zinc. Those are all super important for body regulation. Those are pretty typical, though. When you go to the doctor, that's what they're typically going to give you. And then, of course, there is a section in this function health that was stress and aging. So cortisol, DEH, insulin-like growth factor, and then thyroid numbers. You also want your thyroid numbers from your doctor. So there's a lot more to this. I'm just saying those are some of the things you would ask for. And who knows to ask for these things? I don't. I mean, you don't know what to ask for. So you can also probably find a lot of information on the internet what to ask for. But I think it's interesting.
Yeah. We have someone saying that she had her cortisol tested and it spikes in the middle of the night. So she's wide awake and then she's tired all day. Is there a way to change that?
Wow. So that's interesting. And that can be a typical menopausal thing. How old did she say she was going through menopause?
She did not say.
Because that's kind of common for women going through menopause. They'll get this spike and they'll wake up and you can't go back to sleep. It's a really hard time. That hopefully, the only thing I could say is if you're in menopause, hopefully this is like as you are going through that end of fluctuation time period. And for most women, that calms down. But really focusing on your sleep, then your sleep hygiene, as they call it, like when you fall asleep, that's why I love this Aura ring. Sam and I both wear the Aura ring because it tells you like when you are waking up in the middle of the night, your REM sleep, your deep sleep, how long it's taking you to fall asleep, like all that stuff. So you can try to start to work with it. But of course you can't help waking up at 2 a.m. I would check what you're eating at night. Like, are you eating anything that might be digested and then cause that spike as you hit the middle of the night? So perhaps, when they talk about intermittent fasting, that's one thing. Another concept is just time-based eating, it's kind of called. So meaning like you eat normally like breakfast, lunch, and dinner, but then you stop eating and you're not eating late at night, which could cause your body to be digesting things in the middle of the night. Again, not being a doctor, I don't know.
Yeah, she did say that she is in menopause. So,
That is so normal. So if that is your case, I just want to tell you, hang on, girlfriend, because been there, done that. I'm watching my two younger sisters go through it right now. They're waking up in the middle of the night. They're waking up sopping wet, night sweats, the whole thing. Isn't it lovely being can you imagine if a guy had that happen to them?
no.
The world would fall apart. But no, us ladies are sweating in the middle of the night, changing our clothes, waking up. Oh, it does go away, though. I will tell you that it does go away.
Somebody's asking, have you tried any of the smart rings on Amazon that are around $40?
I haven't. Is that another, like a ring that's similar to an Aura ring?
I'm assuming so. There's a lot of other different, rings out there. I think like Whoop has one. I don't think they're $40. I'm assuming there's other ones out there.
Sam, let's look into that. Let's order one. I'll wear it and I'll compare it to my Aura ring and see if it works. We love doing that. We love when people tell us to buy something on Amazon because you know that I'm an Amazon influencer. So I'm always like, hey, tell me what to try because I won't talk about it unless it's good, but will let you know like, hey, we tried this and this thing does not work. Or we'll tell you, hey, it's pretty good.
Yeah, it looks like there's a couple I'm looking on Amazon right now. There's just like off brands, obviously, that look like the Aura ring. So yeah, we'll take a look.
That's a great idea where I'm totally willing to try it and I would wear it maybe on my other hand and then compare the two.
Yeah. So yeah, we will take a look at that. For those of you wondering, I'll put the Aura ring is spelled O-U-R-A. That's the one that Chris and I have. A couple of people are asking.
Hey, Sam, can you put the link to the article I wrote about my Aura ring?
I can. I will probably do that afterwards. Okay. I'm on camera.
Yeah, I'm telling Sam what to do. Sam, would you? She's typing as fast as she can. So I wrote a review about this ring, you guys. My husband's been wearing it for about 5 years. And he's always like telling me to get an Aura ring. And I'm like, oh God, I don't need one more thing measuring my life. I was kind of a skeptic, but I started in January. I decided to bite the bullet.
You really were a skeptic.
Yeah, because I was like, I don't think I'm going to like it on my hand. I feel like all I do is measure everything and I'm so sick of it. But it has been such a positive in my life, really from a sleep standpoint, mostly, but also just from like, just my total health. Read my review. If you read it, it'll tell you all the different things that it measures.
All right, I just dropped it in there while she was talking. So that should be in there. Let's see. Sorry, getting back to the questions. How do you boost metabolism in menopause? Nothing seems to be working.
Well, here's the deal. I mean, I hate to even say it, but it's what you eat and how you move. I mean, people just don't love to hear it, but things do get harder. Like I said, I don't want to be Debbie Downer, but it does get harder to maintain muscle and build muscle. It's just like, think about everything as it gets older, it just gets harder to do the processes that it was meant to do. So your body is aging. You do need a little extra protein because your body doesn't use it quite as efficiently as it did in the 20s and 30s. So now you just need to make sure, well, maybe you didn't eat enough in your 20s and 30s, but you better eat it now if you want to maintain that muscle. It's really, to boost your metabolism, you got to get some sleep. You got to eat healthy. And literally, my younger sister, she's here in Arizona, and she said, Chris, before you leave, you have to give me a free health coaching session. And I'm like, okay, she's my youngest sister. So I'm like, yes, we're going to sit down. Because she's like, I want to lose weight, but I need some help. And she's 49. And I'm like, all right, I know some of the things that you're doing wrong, and I'm going to help you. I'm going to tell you. But it's eating healthy. It's skipping the processed food. It's really paying attention to timing your eating throughout the day and what are you eating. It's less, alcohol can really do a number on your body in menopause. It can be very hard. It's moving your body and it's lifting weights. And I cannot say it enough. I know so many midlife women who walk, who run, who, spin, who do tennis, who, they do a lot of cardio. So that is amazing because we've got to keep our hearts healthy too. That's really important. But strength training is the massive secret to metabolism. You need more muscle on your body to keep your metabolism up. And it's just the cold hard truth. And even if you take a weight loss drug, even if you're on a GLP-1, even if you don't have muscle, your long-term health looks bleak. Sorry to be Debbie Downer. I want to say it from the positive. I want to tell you guys, like, let us help you start lifting weights. It is not easy. It isn't. It's hard work. Like picking up heavy stuff is hard work, but it starts to do a number on your brain and you start to like feel euphoric. Like, I can do one more rep. Like, I feel good about myself that I lifted weights today. And you start to notice in your everyday life that you can do things that you couldn't do before. Like you'll have a revelation like, oh my God, I picked up this 60-pound box that I could have never picked up before. Like those are the kinds of things that really feel amazing. But anyway, boosting metabolism, it's not sexy. It's sleep better, eat better, hydrate, and lift weights.
Awesome. We have someone asking, any suggestions for lifting heavier weights? She thought she was ready for 12-pound weights for upper body because she was getting comfortable with her 10 pounds. But she said her shoulder was sore for about a week after the workout with the 12-pound weights.
So if you were doing overhead presses using that medial deltoid, top of the shoulder, I could totally see how that could happen. Start with lower repetitions. Don't go to complete failure with the heavier weights. So if you're going to do 12 reps, do only 6 with the 12s and drop down to your 10s and do the other 6. Even though you could maybe push through it, allow your joints to acclimate to it. And so I would do a little bit, just ease up to doing full amount of reps with the heavier weights. Some of these shoulder exercises where you are not lifting overhead might be a little less stressful on the shoulder, but I would definitely just do half the reps with the higher weight and slowly acclimate your joints, and then also warm up your shoulders before you lift. You'll notice in every Get Healthy UTV workout, we do shoulder rolls. So we will do, we'll do these or these, and then we'll do big arm circles. I don't want to hit my wall behind me, but we'll do big arm circles, both directions, because what we're doing is we're lubricating with our natural body lubrication, your synovial fluid, and we're getting that shoulder prepared before we lift. And then one last thing, I laugh because it sounds like I'm always selling something. I guess I grew up selling on QVC. That is true. That's a fun fact about me. I love to help people out. But as we get older, we do need other tools. So infrared light therapy is another tool that Sam and I talk about all the time. We've partnered with a company because infrared has changed my life. It helped me rid of my back pain. Anytime I have any kind of, I use my infrared on my back every day as proactive, but like if my shoulder hurts or my knee hurts, I put my infrared on that particular area. My older sister was visiting and she gets massive migraines when she changes weather systems. And so she woke up the first morning and she's like, oh my God, I'm getting a migraine. It's so bad. So I had her put the infrared pad on her neck and it prevented her headache. And she was like freaking out. She's like, this is amazing. And so she bought one. So like infrared helps remove inflammation. So as you are going up to a higher amount, you're like, uh-oh, my shoulder's a little sore. Put some infrared light therapy on there. And infrared is not a heating pad, it's an infrared pad, and that light wave can help reduce inflammation. Put, the old, remember back in the day, what was it called? Bengay or Icy Hot?
Icy Hot,
that
yep.
People would put on, but that's not as effective as infrared.
I know my dad keeps putting that on his back and he like throws out his back all the time. And I'm like, I need to get him the red light therapy because he's still using Icy Hot and everything. I'm like, he's like, what? It feels good. I'm like, okay, whatever, whatever helps.
My mom, my 86-year-old mother, I just got her an infrared pad. And funny that we're talking about it because I went over there yesterday. My parents live here in Arizona and I got her, she needed help like understanding how to use it. And I'm like, Mom, she has so much inflammation. She has so many like little problems in her rib cage because she's weak and she has so much pain in her upper back and lower back. I'm like, you need to just put this on your back every day.
Yep.
To try to reduce some of this inflammation.
Yes. Along those lines, we have somebody asking if you've written anything about recovering from tennis elbow. She's currently suffering from tennis elbow, and she's super bummed that she can't lift right now.
Oh, I had tennis elbow about 3 years ago, I think it was. It's super common. Tennis elbow is like here, golfer's elbow is on the inside. It is just, an overstressed tendon area that pulls into the joint. Physical therapy helps. You absolutely need physical therapy because it's really hard to get rid of without it. Two things I would suggest. Number one is you can shorten, three things I would suggest. You can shorten the tendon. So if you've ever seen those wraps on like Amazon or at Walgreens where it's like a Velcro strap and it's like you're just tightening right here. So by shortening the tendon, it removes some of the pain when you move. So that's one idea. A lot of tennis players, a lot of people who lift weights. And by the way, tennis elbow is just the name for it. It's tendonitis. That's what it is. So you can get tennis elbow from lifting weights. I got also have seen a lot of people getting it from pickleball. But so that's one thing. The other thing is there is a device out there. It's called Fix Elbow, Fiix elbow, double I, Fiix elbow. The name of the company is Fix, Fiix body. And they make a device that you put on your arm. You just sit on your couch and rest your arm. And it does the Graston method on your arm. When you go to the physical therapist, they are going to scrape your tendon with something that looks like a butter knife. It's called the Graston method. And they just scrape that tendon. And it's very, very helpful. This is a device that sits on your arm and scrapes it. And you follow along with their app. This is what I did. And you do it for like 8 weeks. Even if your arm feels better, you still do it for 8 weeks. And the protocol is like you start with 3 days a week and then you go down to 2 days a week. You also do tendon exercises where you go like this, forward and back, and then up and down. And you can find these exercises on YouTube. Just Google search tennis elbow on YouTube and you will find a lot of people, physical therapists, showing you these exercises. And the last thing I was going to say is infrared. So the company that Sam and I work with, LED Light Therapies, just came out with a sleeve. So for wrist pain and tennis elbow. And I told them immediately send me that wrist device because I've been having a little bit of wrist pain from lifting heavier in my right wrist. I think also from pickleball. I've been having a little bit of wrist pain. And then I had the tennis elbow back in the day, so I just want to keep it away. So I'm using the infrared right now for the elbow to wrist, and I think that's going to be super helpful too, because infrared is a light wave that is naked to the eye, and it can penetrate deep into your tendons. So it's not just skin surface. It's not like putting a heating pad and going, oh, the heat feels nice. It like penetrates in to remove the internal inflammation. So the infrared could be helpful also. So I guess you've got the band, you've got a physical therapist that you could go to. You could check out this device that you can buy for at home, and you can check out the infrared sleeve. You need to do something. That's the thing is we get older, you cannot ignore your problems. Like people will go, oh, my knee hurts. And then they just don't talk about it until their knee gives out, 6 months later. It's like when I feel pain, I'm like, okay, I'm going to figure out what kind of therapy I need to do to help reduce that pain.
For sure. I do the same thing, and I actually use the red light therapy as well. Chris was like, you need to do it when my back was unwell, and so I do the same thing when I start to feel it, even just like tense up a little bit. I toss that right on because I'm like, okay, I need to be able to do my workout tomorrow morning. So many of you are asking like which kind Chris uses. I dropped the link and her code in there for all of you guys to use. And I did just check for the LED. Yep, I did check that our code was still working, and it's still working before I put it in there. So
you guys, we had this code that was for the holidays, and I think is it 35% off or 25? 25, which is a really good deal. And it was supposed to stop working about a month and a half ago. And
working.
we keep checking and it's still working. So I keep giving it out to people like, buy this before the code. We usually get a code at least 3 times a year for a discount. But their products are really good. They have one that wraps around the joint. And I use it on my elbow, my shoulder, my knee. People use it on their ankle. That's one my sister wrapped on her. She took the joint wrap and she just put it like back here. And she actually bought one right away because she's like, this is a game changer. There's like the flex pad. There's the elbow device. There's a couple other, it's under the pain management area.
Yes, and they also have like beauty products too, right, Chris? Like where they have for, face stuff. So if you want like a face,
Okay, so follow me on Instagram, you guys. On Facebook too, but mostly on Instagram. So I talk about these products and I try them out. So currently right now, okay, just a little education. Infrared light is a light wave that is naked to the eye. If I showed you some infrared light right now, it would not look like it was turned on. It is naked to the eye. And that is what penetrates. It has a little bit of heat associated with it, but it penetrates. Red light therapy is for skin, and red light also just feels nice because it's a little warm. So often the infrared devices that you buy have red and infrared together just because people like to feel the heat. But the red light is good for skin. So you see people with their red light panel. I have a red light panel. You only need to just hold it in front of your face for 3 minutes a day. I do it at night. But I just recently started wearing the lip one. Sam, I showed it to you, didn't I?
You did, yes.
Yeah. So you just put it in your mouth for 3 minutes and it infrareds around here. So it's a way to get rid of the deep lines and wrinkles. And so I took some before pictures. I have some deep lines here. I've been wearing it now for 2 months, every day for 3 minutes. It's so easy, 3 minutes. So I'll let you guys know what I think. We haven't talked about it on Instagram yet because I like to try things out before I say anything. But heck, I don't fill my lips because I have, fairly large face and lips. So I'm like, if it can remove my lines, heck yeah.
So stay tuned. We might be seeing some
So
before
stay
and after,
tuned
right?
for the red light.
Yeah.
But they sell the products. I guess the reason
Yes.
they do sell the products on this website, all the red light.
Yep.
But I haven't given my review on it yet.
She has not. One of our members, she said this is not cortisol related, but she has 2 questions that she's been meaning to ask us for a while. So I want to make sure we get to them. Please give the most effective push-up alternative so we don't feel like slackers when we do push-ups in a workout. She can't even do them on her knees with her SI issues. She goes, I can do glute bridges with chest flies if you think that's comparable, but do you have any other options for push-ups not on your knees?
I would say, first of all, you can do them on your coffee table or on a countertop. So the more elevated you take it, the easier it might be if you're talking about your back hurting. But that being said, if you want to get stronger, yes to chest flies, yes to chest presses. So I would lay on my back and I would do chest presses this way. I would turn my palms in and do a narrow chest press, which is going to get chest and tricep. And then I would also do the chest flies. And these are powerful. These will make you stronger. You can build up to heavier weights. You can add a glute bridge in. That would definitely be the alternative to push-ups. And that's not slacking at all. That's awesome.
Her second question is there a travel workout that you would recommend using bands and standing? She's going on vacation soon, has limited space, and she's not a big fan of body weight workouts in hotels and touching floors. So do you have any bands or standing workouts that you would recommend?
We have so many band workouts. Is she a member of Get Healthy UTV?
Yeah, she's a member. Yep.
Sam, can you think, we've just recently done several different resistance band workouts.
Yes, I do believe Patty just did one.
Patty did one and Shannon did one.
Yep.
And I know, don't we have a 10-minute resistance band workout too, maybe? I would go to Get Healthy UTV and I would search, just put the word resistance band in your search. Put the word resistance band and put the word mini band, because mini bands are the little ones that go around your leg. So if a resistance band or a mini band is used in a workout, those workouts are going to compile. So check it out, because we have a lot of them, because so many people use resistance bands when they travel. It's the best tool to use.
Yes. Off topic, but her husband is starting to work out, and like he doesn't like going to a fitness center. Is there a male version of Get Healthy UTV?
Well, we have a lot of men who do Get Healthy UTV.
Do.
We have a lot of couples who work out together, and the guy does our workouts. And actually,
I would say a lot of men are pleasantly shocked when they complete any of our workouts.
Yeah, because they're like, those women are freaking beasts. They can do it. So yeah, there's nothing wrong with a guy doing our workouts, but I don't know like a male only one. Obviously Peloton is a very popular app that people use, and you don't have to have the bike. You can get the app. pay for the app, which by the way, it's more expensive than Get Healthy UTV, but they do have strength workouts that are led by men. So, you could check that out. I don't even know what happened to some of the other, like Beachbody, I'm not a huge fan of their product. But there's got to be other guys online doing training, but Peloton is the one that Sam and I know the best.
Another different topic. Do you take creatine? She keeps hearing about it for perimenopausal women. Thoughts on creatine? I think creatine is having a moment right now.
Creatine is having a huge freaking moment, and people are talking all about it. This is just what happens in the health world or in any world. Like they glom onto one thing and it keeps being talked about. Creatine is super healthy. It is not dangerous. It is the most reviewed supplement in science. There's so many research studies that have been done on it. Your body creates creatine on its own. As we get older, it doesn't create as much. It really helps pump up like your ATP and give your muscles and cells energy to help you have more power during your workouts and things like that. It's also, I've seen things that say it's good for your brain and all different kinds of things. So creatine is it's a great supplement to take. Everybody's body reacts differently to creatine. So one of the things about creatine is it gets into the muscle belly, gets into those cells, the muscle, and it hydrates them, adds water. So it is fairly typical for women. Again, here we go with the men and women, not for men. Men typically don't gain weight when they take creatine, but for a lot of women, and I've talked to lots and lots of women who gain 3 to 5 pounds, about 5 pounds when they first start taking it, and then they'll lose that 5 pounds after a couple months. So, I was just hesitant. I'm like, do I really want to gain 5 pounds right now? Not that that's the be all end all, but I just haven't taken it for that reason. Then in January, I decided I'm going to take it. So I started taking it in January. I only took it for 3 days or 4 days. And I was feeling so sore that I thought something was wrong with me. Like I was like, okay, I never get this sore from my workouts. And I was feeling strangely sore. So I thought, oh my God. Well, then I got the flu that weekend, some form of the flu where I wasn't feeling good. So then the next week comes and I'm like, okay, was I feeling strangely sore because of the creatine, or was I feeling strangely sore because I was getting sick? I don't know. And I never went back to taking the creatine because I felt so sore, like I could barely sit down on a chair. Now, I researched it. Of course, what does research mean? I Googled it. And there are other trainers and people who are talking about the same thing where they're like, hey, creatine didn't work for me. Like I had the opposite effect with creatine. So it is a real thing out there, because I was like, am I crazy? Like, could this actually have been the creatine? I don't know. But 95% of the people are going to feel great on creatine. I have a woman who I've been talking with who wanted to start taking it 2 months ago. And I said, we talked about what it can do and this and that. And she said, okay, I think I'm going to start. And I said, I think you should. Let me know how you feel. And I ran into her last week. And she said, Chris, I've been taking the creatine now for a month and a half and I feel amazing. And I said, okay, great. So most people will feel amazing. It's a great supplement. It's a safe supplement. I would suggest for women to start with a lower amount. So 5 milligrams is kind of like the standard amount of creatine to take a day. I would go more with 3 milligrams for females, or at least start with that. I was also looking, I'm looking on my phone right now at my dashboard for my biomarkers, and my creatine also was in range, which I was actually kind of pleasantly surprised that my creatine was in range. I was thinking it would be low because as you get older. Mm-hmm. So that made me happy, thinking that all the weightlifting I'm doing is probably helping maintain my creatine levels.
Awesome. I know that's a question that we're getting a lot more frequently now. So, question.
Yeah, mine's in range. I'm looking at it right now. It's almost to the above range.
Oh.
Yippee-ki-yay, and I don't even take it.
Looks like you don't need it. We have someone asking, what calendar should I follow next to keep up her strength after following the Slow and Strong calendar this month?
Okay. Oh my gosh, Sam.
I'm looking at her.
We like so many calendars. It's hard to say when someone says, which is the next one? Okay. If you complete Slow and Strong, which was pretty intense, in terms of heavier
Strength. Yep.
weights. You might enjoy, because sometimes it's good to cycle your workouts a little bit. You might enjoy some of our circuit and interval type workouts that combine cardio with strength. The slow and strong is pretty much strength focused workouts.
Yep.
And we have a lot of like what we call circuit and interval workouts where we do a little bit of we lift weights and then we do maybe a cardio drill and then we lift and then we do a cardio drill and they're just really satisfying. It's like, you get 2 for 1, you get the heart rate up, you sweat, but you also feel your muscles. And you can go, I say this all the time, and I hope people take this seriously. But with all of our workouts, if you feel like the trainers are moving too fast for you and you want to go a little slower with a heavier weight, just do that. Like if you're doing a circuit workout and Sam's leading it and she's going like this and you're going maybe even heavier and you're going like this, if she does 12 reps and you do 6 reps, who cares? You still did it. So just follow the format, follow the exercises, but make it your own. That's what I do all the time. I'm always shocked when people are like, I can't keep up, so I'm not going to do it. I'm like, just don't keep up. Like have the confidence not to keep up. Who cares? Do your thing.
Yeah.
But
I did a workout with Patty this Monday and we were talking about that. Like, we're not in your room. Like, we know we are in your room, but like, we can't actually see you. So just like do what you need to do because we do get so many people, including my mom. She's like, oh, I did one of your workouts and I really liked it, but I couldn't keep up. I'm like, good. Like, don't keep up with me. You should do it at your own pace. So,
what calendar should we recommend? The HIIT calendars, the circuit and interval calendars, the menopause muscle builder?
So I think all the ones that you are just talking about are great. A little insider information is that if you really want to stick on like the strength train only and not adding in like the more cardio based, the Serious Strength calendar was updated in March. So it's quote unquote a brand new calendar that we haven't even told the members that we updated yet. So we're
Serious Strength?
Serious Strength.
Yeah,
yep,
okay.
I updated it in March.
I remember that.
So.
All right, I would suggest that.
Yep, so that would be if you're like strength based, that's what you want to keep doing. Otherwise, all the ones that Chris mentioned, the circuits and intervals, the HIIT, all that kind of stuff would add a little bit more cardio, but still have some really good strength workouts in it. So,
and just a little alert if for anyone listening to this. So last June we did a walking challenge where we said, what did we say? You're going to walk 100,000. What was the goal?
Wasn't it 100 miles in the month?
It was like 100 miles in the month. I think that's what it was.
Yeah.
So we were like, we're going to take steps to get to 100 miles plus lift weights. And people loved it just because, for June, for a lot of us, depending on where you live in the country, it's like the first month that you're really outside and loving it. So we encouraged, I think we were encouraging 8,000 steps a day.
Yeah.
And you have to walk those steps. You just had to take the steps. So whether it was running up and down your stairs in your house or playing a game of pickleball or whatever, just get in your steps and get in your workouts. And that was a really fun challenge that we're going to probably repeat this June with our Get Healthy UTV group.
It was, I mean, I even really got into it because, we always work out, but I'm like, okay, get outside after work or before work or whatever. So I loved that one personally and would love to do it again.
Good.
Let's see. We have time for maybe 1 or 2 more questions. Hair thinning. Any tips and tricks on that during menopause? She started doing biotin per her doctor, hoping it helps. But do you have any other tricks?
I'm doing biotin too. I honestly haven't. I've been 6 months with biotin, maybe more, and I have not. I don't notice anything miraculous. It's really hard. I don't know what to tell you. It's really hard. People struggle with it. There's like serums that you can put on your head, but I hate all the serums. Believe me, I've tried them all. But they make your hair wet. Like I don't want to make my hair wet every morning. And then there's also this Nutrafol, which is a supplement. You've probably heard of it. I tried to take it. I just could not stand it. It's like 4 or 5 humongous horse pills that taste kind of weird. And I was like, I can't stay consistent. So it's been really hard. Now, my problem isn't so much the thinning, it's the breaking off because of the bleach. So I'm working through that problem. I'm getting breakage because of all the bleach. But some of these serums really do work. The Nutrafol has a lot of reviews where people say it has worked. So I know friends who are taking it and say that they think they trust it. So you could try the Nutrafol. It's just, it's really hard. And the biotin, I've been taking it. I can't say I've noticed anything miraculous.
I feel like that one's a hard one. I feel like there's a lot of us. I mean, I take the Nutrafol because we have Chris. You and I know someone that takes it, and her hair is like super long, super thick. I'm like, "What's your story?" And she's like, "I just take these Nutrafol." I don't know if it's making a huge difference, but
Do you think they taste bad? I think those pills taste bad.
they don't. I think they don't. They definitely don't smell good at all. So I just kind of I do it really quickly in the morning and get it over with.
I could go back to it. I don't know.
I mean,
It's a
I agree with
bummer.
you though. It's a lot, and then we do our greens, so it's just kind of like, how many things are you gonna do?
Right.
So okay, it's like right at the hour, but we do have one last question
Okay.
rolling in. Do you have any calendars
Okay.
that don't require a paid subscription for our workouts?
That's interesting. Okay. Yes, the Slow and Strong that we're just talking about is free.
Yep.
It is free. We unlocked all the workouts. So go download the Slow and Strong. It's open and it's free. We do free challenges at least twice a year, if not 3 times a year,
Yeah.
where we unlock an entire calendar. We also give away one free unlocked workout a month. And Sam puts that on our Instagram account and on our Facebook business page. She'll announce it like, here's the unlocked workout for the next week. And so you'll get one of those a month. And then we do have a library of 10-minute workouts. So if you go to our website and click on workouts and then go to the sorting and click on free, we probably have 60, 70, at least 60 or 70 10-minute workouts that you can just do for free, and you can string them together. You could like do a strength one, then do a cardio one, then do a stretching one, and you'd get a 30-minute workout. And those are all free. And we add those every couple months.
And then I think the other last thing that you can do is you can go to our challenges, because we have like the 10 for 10. And
yeah.
those ones will be, so if you go on our website and you go to challenges, click on there, and you can sign up for some of those challenges that are free that we've done in the past that you can do whenever, and those workouts will be unlocked for you. So
Yeah, and the Shake Up Your Wake Up. That
Yep.
was a 2-month one. It was for those of you who need to shake up your wake up and get your butt moving. That's a free challenge too.
all right, Chris, so that's at the top of the hour.
It always goes by so fast.
I know that one was like exceptionally fast this week.
It was. We appreciate you guys joining us. We appreciate all of you Get Healthy UTV members. We are so thankful. We love creating workouts for you. If you are not a member of the Facebook group, please join the Facebook group. It's a private group of women. And in that Facebook group, we use you guys as our survey people. Sam will survey all the time. What workouts do you guys want us to do? What challenge do you want us to do? What are you looking for in terms of information? And we literally take that your responses, and it shapes what we do next at Get Healthy UTV. This is all about a community, so we want to do what works for you. So check that out. If you're not a member, we're glad you joined us for our Q&A. There are a lot of free Q&As on the website, so go check them out. And then we'll see you next month.
Awesome. Thank you.
Bye.